The pedal screamed in agony in Christopher Robin's room, as the boy smashed Creepy Gracie's head with the baseball bat into a bloody pulp. Mabel watched the whole thing in a bush and chuckled. She got what deserved, she thought. Creepy Gracie was still alive. She moaned, and her face was a bloody mess. Her skull was completely destroyed. Mabel was excited. But she still can't say anything. This was her best moment since Mr. Pickle's death. She wanted to dance and joy like a maniac. The doll and Creepy Gracie just ruined her life like Pickles did. The boy grabbed Creepy Gracie at her hind legs and ripped her apart like in bone tomahawk. Blood splattered everywhere and the boy was also covered with her blood. Her intestines fall to the ground. If the real Gracie or Dan would see this, Mabel just see the fatality screen in front of herself. She began to run around and screaming and laughing in joy like a complete idiot. Creepy Gracie was no more. Meanwhile, the pedal in the room was so angry that he teleported away, finding Creepy Gracie's killer. He thought it was Mabel. He was so fucking furious that the sky was get stormy. Mabel felt something bad shit was gonna happen. She hurried to get back to the lab, but there was Pooh, faster than Sonic the fucking Hedgehog, ran towards Mabel. She began to run fast, as she could, but she stumbled and fell to the ground. The doll was so fast than Mabel that he caught her before she can get up. He grabbed the robotic beaver at its neck. "What the actual fuck you did with my wife?" he said in his demonic voice, as the clouds started lightning so loud that your eardrums could burst. "It was not me. Leave me alone. Please." Mabel cried. "Fucking liar," he said, and started hitting the beaver's body to the ground so hard that the robot's parts started to crush into fragments like bone. Mabel begged to stop, but he started punching her more furiously, as the robot beaver that hopped in got more destroyed. Then, he grabbed the robot and ripped it apart like a plushie, as Mabel let out a last big no. Shortly after, Mabel woke up in the lab, as she gasped for air, returning at her human form. She failed to return the robotic beaver to the lab without getting destroyed. Creepy Gracie is dead but Pooh is still alive. One more to go, thought Mabel, and go to the scientists to tell what happened. There was a bunch of robot animals in the storage in the lab, and there will be a robotic copy of Gracie and Dan to hop into. Meanwhile, the doll found Creepy Gracie's severed body. He grabbed the remains, and started mumbling an ancient prayer to resurrect Creepy Gracie. Soon, the remains started glowing, as Creepy Gracie got resurrected. However, she still had some stitches in her body. She looked at Pooh and started to romancing at the middle of the forest, where she died. He sticked his tongue out and started French kissing with Creepy Gracie, and taking sexual pleasure with vomiting each other. Creepy Gracie and the doll would be mortal, but they needed to be killed in time before one of them gets resurrected. Mabel needs some time to realize that. The resurrection of Creepy Gracie is just the beginning of the story.